Hi everyone. As you can see, today we are in a different spot. I decided I wanted to film this on the floor in my library because I want to start trying to showcase the shelves behind me. You don't see them very often. Like the only time you get to see them is in my bookshelf tours. So yeah, on top of that, to do my book hauls, it's actually a little bit easier for me to be on the floor, to be honest. I spent like probably an hour here trying to figure out how I could set it up so that I don't have to constantly stand up after every book. And it's impossible. So sitting on the floor is going to be our best option because I have quite a few books to haul. So you probably haven't noticed because, you know, it is what it is. But I am spacing out my book hauls a little bit longer. Because this year I'm really trying to cut back on the books I'm buying. Now, I know it's not going to look like it in my book hauls because it's going to be for like I think this one is since December potentially. But yeah, so this is a couple months at this point, and I just kind of decided, okay, I have enough accumulated to show you. And I'm just gonna do it and get it out of the way. And I think I probably uploaded one like in late November or December, but last year, basically the way I was doing them, they were like 3 months or so, and I'm trying to spread them a little bit more. And like I said, not buy quite as many books. So yeah, I have a decent amount here. Anyways, let's just get into it. I don't quite know where to start. So let's just start. So as usual, these are a mix of books that I bought new. I bought with gift cards, with money, and I bought a couple of them, handful of them used as well. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I don't buy them all new. I also had my birthday just this past week, and I did get quite a few books for my birthday. So that's that. All right, so we're going to get right into the fantasy. So starting off strong with one that I don't know a whole lot about that my husband got me for my birthday. That is Give the Dark My Love by Beth Revis. This is a dark fantasy from what I understand. I got this in a blind date with a book that my husband got for my birthday. And I am excited to read it. It's on the shorter side. And I'll just read you the synopsis here because I think it may be like a dark YA fantasy. 17-year-old Nedra leaves her home in the rural northern territories of Lunar Island to attend the prestigious Yugen Academy with only one goal in mind: master the trade of medicinal alchemy. So I normally don't like a school setting, but this sounds interesting because it's fantasy, like magic. I'm not into like the dark academia usually. A scholarship student matriculating with the children of Lunar Island's wealthiest and most powerful families, Nedra doesn't quite fit in with the other kids at Yugen until she meets Gregory Gray, quote unquote, Astor. Gray is immediately taken by the brilliant and stubborn Nedra, who he notices is especially invested in her studies, and that's for a good reason. A deadly plague has been sweeping through the north, and it's making its way toward the cities. With her family's lives and the lives of all of Lunar Island's citizens on the line, Nedra is determined to find a cure for the plague. Gray and Nedra grow close, but as the sickness spreads and the body count rises, Nedra becomes desperate to find a cure. Soon she finds herself diving into alchemy's most dangerous practices, and when she turns to the most forbidden practice of all, necromancy, even Gray may not be able to pull her from the darkness. One of the blurbs on the back says, "A darkly twisted look at the way grief makes monsters of us all." So yeah, I am excited to read this one soon. I am going to put this on my TBR card just so I don't forget about it. So next on the list of fantasy that I purchased, I have Feybound by Sarah El Arafi. This is a new release. The bookseller, when I bought this, said, "Do you know what this is about? It looks really good." And I said, "It has Fae, and that's all I need to know." So this is about two elven sisters who become imprisoned in the intoxicating world of the Fae, where danger and love lie in wait. It's the first book in an enchanting new trilogy. So the synopsis says, Yirin was born on the battlefield, has lived on the battlefield, and one day she knows she will die on the battlefield. As a warrior in the elven army, Yirin has known nothing but violence her whole life. Her sister, Lettel, is trying to make a living as a diviner, seeking prophecies for a better future. When a fatal mistake leads to Yirin's exile from the elven lands, both sisters are forced into the terrifying wilderness beyond their borders. There they encounter the impossible, the Fae court. The Fae haven't been seen for a millennium, but now Yirin and Lettel are thrust into their seductive world, torn among their loyalties to each other, their elven homeland, and their hearts. So this does sound like it is a fantasy romance to some extent. Yeah, I'm excited to read this one. I'm going to try to get to it soon. I still haven't read The Final Strife. I do own it. I just haven't read it. And I think... So anyways, yeah, so I got Faebound. I did pick this one. This is one of the ones I bought for myself for my birthday because it's on my anticipated releases for the year. All right, and next up, I did purchase Powerless by Lauren Robert. I've heard mixed reviews at this point about this one. This one has been really popular on TikTok, so I don't know when I'm gonna get to this one precisely, but I do want to try to get to it soon. This year, I have been trying to prioritize backlist, but really, if I'm excited about new releases, I'm trying to get to them soon just to get them out of the way while I'm hyped for them. So I'll probably try to get to this one rather soon, but probably not until the summer. And the next couple I did pick up used. So I bought two. These are in the same series that I actually own the first book for, but I don't own the second book. So I'm going to have to pick up the second one eventually. But I snatched these while I found them used because it's a little bit cheaper than cover price and, you know, good for the planet. So that is The Rogue Crown and The Evergreen Heir. And these are both by A.K. Mulford. This is a fantasy romance series. I have not started it yet. This series went pretty viral on TikTok like maybe a year or two ago. I just haven't picked it up. When all the ACOTAR hype was first coming back. I don't even want to, it didn't really ever leave, but you know, when it went viral on TikTok and like everybody started reading who wasn't even reading books, they just picked up ACOTAR. You know what I'm talking about. If you're here, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so that one went kind of viral because it has like a similar vibe. But I haven't picked it up yet. And then I did pick up a special edition of Dark and Hollow Star. This is by Ashley Shuttleworth. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know a whole lot about this book. It's been out for a hot minute. It says The Cruel Prince meets City of Bones. It's an urban fantasy set in a magical underworld of Toronto. Has a queer cast of characters, race to stop a serial killer whose crimes could expose the hidden world of fairies to humans. So it does sound very interesting to me. I love the cover, and this is actually signed. I think that perhaps this is just a special edition signed copy of this book. I don't know why I thought it was the Fairy Loot edition, but I cannot find anything that actually says that. So it just has sprayed edges and then it's signed, like actually signed. It's not like a stamp or digital signature. So yep, I was excited to find this one used because I did get it for a pretty fair price. And like I said, it has intrigued me prior. Let me see if it's interesting without the... So I'd say the only disappointment is that the cover without the dust jacket is not anything special. So I think like the only thing special is the signature and then the sign or the sprayed edges. So my used bookstore does get a fair amount of special editions, which I am always hyped for. Yeah, they could charge like more than they already charge and I'd probably still buy them, to be honest with you. So yeah, I was really excited to find that one. I am excited to read this soon. And that is all the fantasy. Well, I think there's a couple more, but they're mixed in with another genre. So we'll set those aside. And I think that's a good segue into the fantasy romance that I've picked up because I did, if it had a significant romance element, or is like a dark fantasy romance, I set it aside. So, okay, let's scoot those out of the way. Oh my leg. The only problem with sitting on the floor is that my legs go numb. Okay, so another one that I picked up for my birthday is the new Ali Hazelwood book, Bride. I do like her contemporary romances, against my better judgment. I will say, out of all like the STEM romances that she's written, the first one was the best in my opinion, just because she reuses a lot of the same tropes. And the more you read them, the more you're like, this is the same thing over and over again, and I'm kind of bored. So as I've gone on with them, I've gotten more annoyed by that. However, I did want to read this because this is a fantasy romance, paranormal romance, about a vampire bride and a werewolf. Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like her books anymore because they're like, it's kind of, the romance is cheesy. It always is. She doesn't write it like the best out of everybody I've ever read, but they're entertaining. I tend to not totally hate the characters, so that's a plus for me. But I am excited to see her delve into some paranormal romance. So the next two are actually, I think they're like I don't think you have to read these like consecutively. However, they are reprinting these covers, and I don't own the originals, but I saw the reprints for the covers and I needed them. Because they're gorgeous. So I got books 1 and 2 of Mead Mishap series by Kimberly Lemming. So that is The Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon, and That Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted a Love Potion at a Werewolf. So those are books 1 and 2. These are just kind of like, I don't know if they're like, I guess they would technically be monster romance or like paranormal romance, but from my understanding, they are not super dark. They are adult, but I think they're kind of like a mix of cozy fantasy with fantasy romance, and they feature Black female protagonists. So that I am hyped for. I am really excited to read these. These are going to be a quick read when I do get to them. And I just have to say the spines on the shelf are going to look amazing. So very happy to have those. I also picked up A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. And look, I have heard so much hype about this book, but not like in a bad way. This is another vampire romance, obviously. And I'm just trying to branch out from Blood and Ash. I'm just trying to branch out because it hasn't been my favorite. I've been considering strongly DNFing the series. I think I just read the 4th book. I just finished A War of Two Queens. You'll see me talk about that in my wrap-up soon and how I felt about that. But as you can tell, it was kind of mid. So yeah, I am excited to try to branch out into better vampire romance. I also bought One Dark Window, and this is another kind of dark fantasy romance. This one has gone pretty popular online, as you can see. I bought it because the paperback was on sale, and I have been wanting to pick it up, so it was a good choice for me. I have heard mixed things about this one. Like, some people have just straight up not liked it and DNF'd it, and then some people have really liked it. So I think this one got kind of the TikTok treatment where it got really hyped and people had really high expectations for it. And then it is just natural that the more people that read your book, the more, I don't want to say the more people are going to dislike it, but you're going to have a higher frequency, right? Because, you know, say 10% of people don't like a book out of all the 100% that read it, right? But your 10% is out of the thousands and thousands of people versus, you know, several hundred. You're going to have more people who don't like the book. So that's kind of what happens, I think, with the TikTok books. You know, a lot of people want to say, like, social media sets unrealistic expectations for the books. And I honestly, maybe it's just my feed, but I have had my fair share of people that are just honestly just telling the truth and reading the synopsis and telling you what the book is about. So I don't really see people overhyping books, just stating how they felt about them and, you know, telling you what the book's about. And I think because we're bombarded with that, it feels like it's being overhyped. But what's really happening is a lot of people are reading these books that go viral. And then we're having more people, obviously, like I said, a higher number of the same percentage of people or whatever that theoretically don't like a book. So yeah, anyways, my rant about why people don't like this book. This one is about a maiden who must unleash the monster within to save her kingdom. It's a dark, lush, gothic fantasy. It sounds like I have a couple on my list that I just bought where it's like female protagonist has to kind of become the villain in some ways, which I'm here for. Obviously, oh shit. Obviously that's a trope that I like. So yeah, I am excited to read this one soon. I don't know when I'm going to get to it, but like I said, a lot of these new releases I am trying to prioritize. I don't remember if I hauled the next 2 sets of books, but I'm going to haul them here because I don't think I did. I think I bought them at a time when I was like, I'm not going to be doing hauls anymore. So, I did buy some Katie Robert books that I wanted the physical copy to. Now, to preface this, I've only actually read the first book, The Dragon's Bride, and I bought this one used. I got really lucky and bought this one used, but I read this on Kindle, just to clarify, but I do want to read the rest of them. They're really quick reads. Like if you're trying to get your Goodreads goal, these are great because like, look how small they are. They're novellas. But then I also bought The Demon's Bargain, which looks even shorter somehow. And I bought The Kraken's Sacrifice. So I love these covers. These covers are everything to me. They are everything to me. So I'm really happy to own these and put them as part of my Katie Robert books over on my shelf. I have like kind of a whole, not a whole shelf, but she's with my Elise Kova. So I'm going to run out of room there. It's going to be a problem. And the next 3 are C.M. Nacasta books. So I have not read any of this series. I've heard really good things. The first book in the series kind of went viral about a year or 2 ago, I want to say. Because it's a little, they're monster romances, so they're a little bit, you know what I'm talking about. So that's the Morning Glory Milking Farm with the Minotaur. That's the one I'm talking about. But as you can see, the reason I bought these is that they are signed and actually signed. So I was really excited when I found these at my Barnes & Noble. Like, oh my God, I was so excited. Where is the signature though? Like, oh yeah. So they're actually signed, like in pen. Like she was there, she signed them. It's amazing. So I bought that one. I bought the Moon-Blooded Breeding Clinic, which I actually think might be the 3rd book. And then I bought Sweet Berries. So all 3 monster romances, and I'm really excited to have signed copies. Like these give me life. And does this looks like it has illustrations, but I don't think it does. No, it's just cute. So yeah, I'm excited. These covers also, oh my God, these covers are great too. So very excited to have those. I just thought I would mention them because I don't think I did, even though I technically bought them quite a while ago. And last but not least, oh my God. Last but not least, I pre-ordered, obviously, and got House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. As you can see, I'm still reading it. I'm actually further than this bookmark indicates, I think, at this point. But I think I'm like 60, somewhere between like 60 and 68% of the way in, and I'll have a lot to say in my wrap-up. My goal for this month is to finish this book. I'm also reading another one that I'm loving, and I'm wanting to read that instead of this, which is not a good sign. So yeah, I was really excited for this one. So far, I have thoughts and I want to withhold comment or finalizing said thoughts until I finish the book, because her books, notoriously, that last like 10% is insanity. So I did pre-order this. This did come. I'm reading it, annotating it, as you can see, and feel a certain way about it currently, but that aside. All right, so now I think I'm going to move on to some of the special editions I've gotten. And I have a graphic novel and one like mystery thriller. Oh, hello, dog. Hi. Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't need, no, June, if you knock my camera over, I'm going to lose it. You can't be here. You want to sit with mommy while she films videos? You can't be at the center of attention. Juniper. Lie down. Move your legs. Girl. Baby, come on. Lie down. Lie down. Oh my God. Lie down. Lie down. Lie down. Oh, Jesus. Stop licking my face. Okay. As you can see, my dog has joined us. Oh, now you can't really see her, but that's okay. My dog has joined us. She realized I'm sitting on the floor, so it's a perfect opportunity to cuddle me. And as long as she's a good girl, she can stay here. If she's not a good girl, she has to go. She's warm and soft, at least. So if you see a stray ear or a little face or hear little doggy snores. Okay, apparently the dog decided to go away. So she's still in here. She's just staring at me. We'll start with the mystery. It is a special edition, technically, that I pre-ordered, and that is the new Robert Jackson Bennett book, The Tainted Cup. So I have tried to read some of his things that are not the Founders Trilogy, that are not fantasy, and it's been kind of hit or miss. So this edition is gorgeous. First of all, this is, if you can't tell, this is actually printed right on the hardback. So I love this. I love the way he did this. This is great. I wish more people would do this, where we don't have the dust jacket, we just have it printed on the hardback. But I think this is a Holmes and Watson style detective thing. Yes, so this says it's actually a fantasy with a mystery twist. I'll just read you the synopsis. It says, in Dartana? Wow, I sound so Appalachian when I say that. Dartana's. I am going to say Dartana. I don't know. In Dartana's grandest mansion, an imperial officer lies dead, killed to all appearances when a tree erupted from his body. Even here at the Empire's borders, where contagions abound and the blood of the Leviathans works strange magical changes, it's a death both terrifying and impossible. Assigned to investigate is Anna, a detective whose reputation for brilliance is matched only by her eccentricities. Rumor has it that she always wears a blindfold and can solve impossible cases without stepping outside the walls of her home. At her side is her new assistant. Oh, we're going to call them Cole. I don't know how to say the first name. Magically altered in ways that make him the perfect aid to Anna's brilliance. Din, so I guess he goes by Din, is at turns scandalized, perplexed, and infuriated by his new superior. But as the two close in on a mastermind, and Anna makes one startling deduction after the next, he realizes that she is indeed the Empire's greatest detective and wonders how long he can keep his own secrets safe from her piercing intellect. This sounds really good, and now I'm really excited because I didn't realize this was like a fantasy mystery thing. Yeah, so I'm going to be honest, I did not even read the synopsis when I pre-ordered this. I took one look at how the cover looked, who the author is, because he's one of my favorite authors, and decided we're going to go for it. So I'm very excited to have this. And I'm probably going to try to read this very soon because it sounds very good. It does say Shadow of the Leviathan, Book 1. So it sounds like this is going to be a series. And against my better judgment, the graphic novel that I picked up is Solo Leveling, number 8. I debated whether or not I was going to keep reading this because it's very repetitive. But I think at this point I'm just going to see it through, unfortunately. So I do own this. I'm going to read it, and I'm probably going to sell it to the used bookstore because I'm not keeping my copies anymore because I'm kind of sick of this series. I do have a couple Illumicrate editions, so before that, let me drink some water because if you can't tell, I am actually not better yet. I'm still sick from having COVID. And if I'm not careful, I need to lower my voice because I have a tendency to like yell at the camera. But if I'm not careful, I'm going to lose my voice. So yeah. Anyways, I have a couple Illumicrate editions to show you. I actually did not do an unboxing for last month. It came at a time where I wasn't feeling very good. I was starting to come down with COVID, I think. Or I don't know. I wasn't feeling good. I was dealing with mental health issues. School's, kicking me in the ass. So I just didn't do one last month. I didn't have it in me. So the book for last month was Voyage of the Damned, and they sent us this beautiful special edition with the foil spine and the foil front and the back illustration and the green sprayed edges, along with, this is very beautiful to me. I like that a lot. So yeah, the inside, as always, has like print. I like it without the dust jacket even more. It's very cool. Love it. Love to see it. So from my understanding, this is a pirate book. This says 12 magical blessings, 12 days at sea, one chance to stop a killer and save the world. For thousands of years, Concordia has maintained peace behind... Oh my God. Apparently I can't read. This says, for 1,000 years, Concordia has maintained peace between its provinces. To mark this incredible feat, the Emperor's ship embarks upon a 12-day voyage to the sacred goddess's mountain. Aboard are the heirs of the 12 provinces of Concordia, each graced with a unique and magical ability known as a blessing, except one. He's a class clown, slacker, and all-around disappointment. When a beloved heir is murdered, everyone's a suspect. So yeah, this is like a fantasy murder, another fantasy mystery with a mystery twist kind of vibe. I am excited to read this one, but it wasn't on my anticipated releases, so I don't really know a whole lot about it, to be honest with you. But I'll get to it eventually, but I don't know if I'm gonna make it a huge priority, to be real with you. Then you have seen, if you watch my unboxings, I did get the special edition of Starling House. I love this. I need to read this still. I put it on my shelf because it's gorgeous and I never touched it. But yeah, if you didn't watch, the sprayed edges in this one are just so cool. So yeah, excited to have this one. I need to put this on my cart and read it like soon, very soon. And another special edition I got from Illumicrate was The Principle of Moments. I think this is the first one I ever got when I subscribed. The sprayed edges have stars. It's cute. It's signed. Cute interior art. This one is on my anticipated releases for the year. This is a sci-fi. This is another series too. This is book 1. Yeah, I was really excited when this one came because it is like on the top of my fantasy releases for the year. So I'm going to try to get to this one soon. I need to set aside the ones that I need to put on my cart. And I probably need to reevaluate the books that are on there because... So then I just have a handful of contemporary romances here. A couple historical fiction. Not a whole lot. One dark romance. So let's just dive right into that. So I did pick up quite a few of these for my birthday. So I got Love Naturally. This was my anticipated releases for the year for romance. Yeah, so this is about a main character who plans a vacation to Get Lost Lodge, gets dumped and goes alone, but she's like she's not an outdoorsy type of person. And then it sounds like our main male character is an outdoorsy person. So I am definitely here for this one. I also bought The Takeover by Kara Tanamachi, and he's planning a hostile takeover of her startup. Yeah, so that was this one, obviously, by the cover. Yeah, so this is about like her tech startup getting, you know, she's losing funding, and her company is about to be bought by him and his company, and they hate each other until they don't. I also purchased, again for my birthday, The Ritual by Chantal Tessier, I think is how you say her name. This is a dark college romance. I don't know a whole lot about this, but I am in a Facebook group for romance readers, and people talk about this book constantly. And I'll be honest, the cover doesn't appeal to me. I mean, it's not like bad, but it's just very, I don't know. The skull makeup it's just cringe to me. It's just cringe. But, and some of the, like, the trope is a little, like, the way it's worded is a little cringe. But some of the excerpts I've seen have been pretty good, and pretty spicy. So I wanted to pick this one up. I just want to try. I want to try. And I have to say, for a paperback, this thing weighs a fucking ton, a metric ton. This is a heavy paperback. So I'm going to try to read this soon, but I'm not rushing to read that. So a couple of the, oh God, my fucking legs. It's just my right one. I did pick up a couple Tessa Dare mass market paperbacks. And I got these used, so whenever I find them at my bookstore, I like to buy them because these were $1 each, so it's a good deal. I got Romancing the Duke, and I got Any Duchess Will Do. So I'm glad to add those to my collection. I'll get to those when I get to them, but I love Tessa Dare. I also purchased Red String Theory. And this one was on my anticipated releases. The title pretty much explains, if you know what the Red String Theory is, it's like fate stuff. This takes place in New York, has Asian main characters. I am intrigued by the Red String Theory as a concept, so that's the main reason I wanted to pick this one up. I was surprised because this just came out and it was already on sale. So I don't know. But I am going to try to read this one soon as well, because all my anticipated releases for this year, I'm trying to get to them sooner rather than later. And then I also bought used Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I almost actually bought this when I went for my birthday in paperback, and I'm so glad that I didn't. I ended up putting it back and saying, I'll come back for this. Because I forgot that I had bought this used. So this is a book of the month version, which my bookstore also gets quite a few of. I haven't read any of her stuff yet. I do follow her on TikTok because her dogs are very cute. And I've heard really good things about her books. So I'm excited to try this one soon. This is going to be really fun to edit because it's going to be like a fucking hour long. Next, we're going to go into just regular fiction, literary fiction. I've been on a bit of a kick because I'm trying to branch out. So I bought quite a few that are just considered like fiction. They either have like somewhat of a romance element or they have like, I don't know, they're fiction books, you know? Okay. I'm not going to go on about that too much. So I did buy Maybe Next Time by Seska Major. Now this one, the funny thing about this one, this got put on my TBR because I was trying to help one of my coworkers pick a book for her book club that she started, and this came up. This is another like time related thing from what I believe. So yeah, this has like a Groundhog Day element to it. And this, when we read the synopsis, sounded really interesting to me, and I was like, that's going to go on my TBR. And then I just got obsessed. Like, I couldn't stop thinking about this book. So this says, One Day Meets Groundhog Day in this heartwarming and emotionally poignant novel about a stressed woman who must relive the same day over and over, keeping her family and work life from imploding as she attempts to spare her husband from an unfortunate fate. So, yeah, it is on the shorter side. It's like 300 pages or so. And I am excited to read this one. I need to put this on the TBR card because I haven't heard anybody online really talk about this, but it sounds really good. So I want to see what it's all about. I also picked up a lightly used copy of the Heaven and Earth grocery store. This is a signed first edition, and I couldn't believe I found this at the used bookstore. Not gonna lie. So this is very recent release, very popular book. I will not be surprised if this book wins some awards. And yeah, so this book talks about a lot of things, but talks about racism primarily. To kind of summarize, it says, as the novel unfolds, it becomes clear how much the people of Chicken Hill have to struggle to survive at the margins of white Christian America, and how damaging bigotry, hypocrisy, and deceit can be to a community. This all starts when it takes place in 1972, and it all starts in Pennsylvania, in Chicken Hill, where development workers, like excavators, building new foundation for a new housing development, discover a human skeleton. Another one that I picked up is The Idiot, and I heard about this one from Reagan at Peruse Project. And I also bought The Midnight Library because, oh my god, nobody will stop talking about this book. It's been out for a while, and I've known about it, and I've had it on my TBR for a while, but I just never got to it. This, once again, is like another, like, Groundhog Day-esque book. I don't know what the deal is. I've just been in that kind of mood. So, and then also by recommendation of Reagan at Peruse Project, I bought this book. So this is The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay. This is supposed to be kind of weird, but like good. It's a thick book. I picked this up a while ago at this point, but it sounded good to me. And I'll get to it eventually, but I can't say this is like the tippy top of my TBR. But so then I also bought 2 Kristen Hanna books because I am trying to read her books because they sound very good. And I've heard decent things. So I got 2. I got The Great Alone. This one I bought used. I liked that it wasn't the mass market version. It's the like floppy paperback version. So bought this one because it sounded sad, kind of, but good. And then I also bought Firefly Lane, which is like considered one of her most popular, I think. So both of these sound really good, and I want to get to them soon. I also bought The Book of Goose. This was another one that Reagan recommended that I thought sounded really good. So now we're going to get into some of the nonfiction that I bought, and then we're done. So I did pre-order the Epic Homesteading book. So he's a YouTuber. If you are into like gardening, urban homesteading, that type of stuff, I needed this because it is a project, but he has a little bit of everything in here and very detailed, picture heavy. This is going to be a resource for me. So I did pre-order this. I also wanted to support another YouTuber because I love his channel. So if you haven't checked him out, check him out if you're into plants and gardening and all that stuff, or you're wanting to learn more about that. Definitely recommend. So then I also purchased Bitch on the Female of the Species by Lucy Cook. So this is about several different species, I believe, and like the female of the species. This sounds really interesting and is just the kind of niche topic I want to learn about. I also purchased A Voice in the Wilderness by Joseph L. Graves. This says, a pioneering biologist explains how evolution can help us solve our biggest problems. This one, the cover got me. It is really pretty. It sounds super interesting to me, and I need to get to this one soon, but I don't know how soon I'll actually get to it. I also picked up Through the Wilderness by Brad Orsted. This is my journey of redemption and healing in the American wild. This is a short, I think it's like a nature memoir. I also bought Without Children, The Long History of Not Being a Mother by Peggy O'Donnell Heffington. And this one, very quick, short read, and I'm very intrigued by this as somebody who is child-free by choice. So I've heard really good things about this. I'm excited to pick this one up. And then I also purchased quite a few books about books. And just a little plug here, I have a new kind of channel series coming out. I've titled it Niche Nonfiction. It's going to be coming out, not quite sure. I'll put the date, hopefully, here so you can know. Our first episode is going to be books about books. So I'm actually going to withhold showing you a couple of these because, yeah, they're mentioned in there and I don't really want to ruin that for you. So I did buy 2 books about books. Let me just say that. I also purchased The Myth of Normal, Trauma, Illness, and Healing in a Toxic Culture. This is a chunky boy, and I think I want to listen to the audiobook while I like follow along and annotate in this, because this sounds like it's really good. I just, it's so, so long. It's so long. So I don't know if I can read this. But I'm gonna try listening to it. I'll try to do that. Last but not least, I purchased How Emotions Are Made, The Secret Life of the Brain by Lisa Feldman Barrett. This is about what it says it's about. Emotions and how emotions are formed in the brain. So I think this is technically like a neuroscience book. Less like theoretical psychology and more neuroscience. So very interesting for me. But yeah, that is all of the books that I bought recently. It's a lot. I have to get off this floor because my legs are killing me from sitting down here. They're numb. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think about any of these books. Are you excited to read any of these? Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more from me. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.